Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's 𝗙𝗶𝘀𝗰 here. Thanks for coming. A life was lost. Black American woman lost her life. She was in her 60s. I don't really fully know the full context of what went down or what happened. Allegedly, I heard it was poisoning. Some people say it was a mental breakdown. It's a lot of information, so I'm not really sure. But I just want to send condolences to the family. It's a really sad situation, but also I'm using this video to add on what a lot of people have been coming up to speak about. But before I get into the video, the clips I got from DIY and House Farm, as well as from 𝗬cie Natukunda. Yeah, watch the clips and what they had to say. Come back and let's talk about it.
The domestic violence that is taking place on the continent that no one seems to be talking about. A lot of folks come on talking about relationships and dating on the continent, but there are situations where sisters are coming over here and dating men and realizing that they're not who they thought they were. Okay, so that representative has left the building. After, I guess, a few days, weeks, they find out that the individual that they're with is possessive, unstable, physically aggressive. These individuals, when they are told they no longer want to see these men, are being abused. These men are forcing their way into their compounds, into their homes, and no one's stopping them. Because the logic is when you get involved with somebody that person now sort of possesses you or has access to you whenever they want. So I think it's important that people know, like, if you're dating online or if you get involved with someone, when you come over on vacation, you really need to know who you're with. You may want to do a background check if it's possible. It probably would be a little harder to do here on the continent, but there are enough people talking that know each other that you'd be able to get information as to a person's character. Although people can be very secretive, they also don't like to talk about the negative things that people do. Like, someone will steal from you, but they don't want you to tell anyone that they stole from you because it makes them look bad. That's the mentality you're dealing with. And then you have sisters coming over here who may think they're pretty savvy, maybe a little experienced. They come over here, they get involved with someone, and somehow they end up in a situation where they're being accused of being a whore, or they're being looked at as a ATM. And when they refuse or they decline, that's when the aggression comes out. That's when you really get to see who you're with, right? And I know people in the West tend to think that, moving a certain way is acceptable. When you come to the continent, you really get to reflect on what have you been doing with your life.
This is one of those videos where it has pressed me long enough that I have to speak my heart to my cyber friends out there. Why do African Americans choose to go to Africa knowing that there's so many things that have transpired here that we're unaware of? The most difficult thing that I've been trying to do since I arrived was to erect a business. And this has given me a full-blown view on what it means to be a woman in Ghana in particular, especially within the realm of wanting to conduct business, because the American woman is she's coming with an independent mind state. And unfortunately, when you have an American woman that's like dealt with trauma and have a historical background of many different things, and she enters into a new environment, she'll have to adapt to this new one. And the new one doesn't necessarily want to adapt to her. So many times we often we're kind of like overlooking the difficulties that we do have when we're here. We also have this thing where people see African men as family men, not taking into consideration that there's a lot of things that come with that. Africa is not this promised land like everyone thinks it is, or the propaganda that's been spewed. I will speak my truth. You have to be wise about your decisions as to why you're coming here. In all honesty, what happens to the American woman when she comes here, who she was, who she learned to be in her home country, everything that her parents taught her, her guardians taught her, to empower her, to uplift her, to strengthen her through her toxic experiences, they are completely almost shattered when she comes into an environment like this, because the women do not have the empowerment that your ancestors fought for. they are just now scratching at the surface. The reason why I know this is because everyone's sharing the same story. It has to do with their work dynamic, the challenges that they go with that, meaning that most men don't want a woman saying things that are strong and or truthful and or authoritative. And so African countries have their own problems. And when you move into their societies within their cultures, you're about to adopt what they got going on. And so therefore, if a man or a woman has not received the same upbringing as you, the same love, nurture, and care and compassion as you, the same education level, thought, society, these types of things, that is where you're going to have the culture shock. It would probably be much more easier for a man from abroad to come and to find his women because of the social upbringings of the women. They didn't come up with the same push that we had, to thrive. Their survival is different. It would be different for the American woman versus the American man because the women kind of do everything here unless they are rich and or have a social upbringing of equilibrium, were Western educated and things to that nature. But sometimes I question did I really need to come this far to do that? And the answer is no, I didn't. So that's why I'm saying to you, before you take that leap, ask yourself, what are you truly going for?
If you're a woman that wants to come to Africa to date, I would say that you need to have a certain level of caution, because the truth is that the old school mentality of how to be a man is still very much strong here. And if you're used to getting in a guy's face, telling him like this, I'm telling you, you'll get yourself boxed in the face quickly if you're not careful in this place. Those games don't work here. And so if you're coming here today, I'm not saying don't come, and I'm not discouraging you. And we're not promoting violence at all. But you have to know that it is a different world, and the rules that apply over there do not apply over here. Africa is, first of all, massively diverse. From west to east to south, massively diverse. Cultures differ massively, so think about coming, exploring, seeing if it can work for you before you have the idea that it's going to work. That's where I need to be.
I think majority of the times we don't speak about the fact that we have our sisters from the diaspora coming also to Africa to start a life or for relationship, seeking love, wanting an endeavor of starting a new life in Africa. It's so easy for men, of course. I want to warn you, my sisters, the moment you put yourself in a position of coming to Africa for a relationship, you need to be prepared to be taken advantage of. Because in Africa, we have a certain mindset about African American ladies, okay? You are empowered in America, like she said, but when you come here, your walls are going to crumble down. You're going to start from scratch. You're going to start from zero, establishing yourself in a new culture, adjusting to the new ways of living or existing with African people, most especially a man, because in Africa, it's different. In America, it's different. In Africa, when you come here, you're going to have to let your guard down and let the man be everything. And I'm sorry to break it to you, you're going to experience a lot of bullshit from African men. This is why I say, be on guard. Make sure you have some little money on you that when things don't work out, you are not stuck in a situation you don't want to be in. When you are deciding to be with an African person, make sure they are educated, they are financially stable, they can take care of you, and act like you are lame and broke, you got nothing. Your life is in their hands when it comes to provision. Because the moment you dare open your mouth and speak anything concerning money, that's it. They're going to use you. They are going to use you. Yes, someone can use you when they love you, but they love you because of the benefits they can get off you.
As a Black woman, especially coming from the diaspora, there's a lot of hurdles that you're going to face, and it's not going to mostly happen to the Black men. And also because as African women, there are so many things that we would want to come out and speak about, but because of the society, the culture that we are groomed in as to be slaves and doormats, we are not able to do that. I've not seen a lot of African women come out to speak about the injustices, the things that they go through. Why? Because every time you do so, then you are attacking the culture. Coming into Africa, you need to take the fantasy out that people glamorize. As you heard everybody say, there's this picture that is put out that Africa is this dreamland where you're just going to come and the culture is amazing, the people are amazing, everything is good. Yes, you might go in a place where it's going to look like that, but it's not going to be that, especially if you're coming to live in the continent. Things are going to be different. The way you are able to express yourself as a black woman in the West is not going to be that case when you come here. Like I always talk about how we are broken as children, and I'm so strong on the fact that African people morphed and we adapted to the slavery mindset to be in our culture, that we are now embracing it as our culture, and that's why we are not able to speak up. I did a video previously of a black British who's doing business in Uganda, and he talked about how he has employees that are not even able to speak up about the things that they are going through, about the problems they are facing, and he gave them options where they should be able to talk to him, but they are not able to because they are scared, they are frightened. So that's also, those are all things that we need to like come out and speak about. Going back to a black woman from the West coming to Africa to look for a relationship or to just live, the first thing you need to do is to be very cautious. You are the common denominator. Everyone sees you as a common denominator. It can be financial, it can be a ticket to go to the West, like how some ladies in the video said. And also because there is not a lot of laws that protect women in Africa. You get on the news, on national TV, and you see how men hit women, how men torture women, and nobody does anything about it until these women lose their lives. And then that's when the society is like, oh, we saw him, treating her like this, but we thought it's just relationship thing, they'll fix themselves up. So that's the society you're coming into. You're going to go on social media and see how men are mistreating women on a daily, but there's no laws that are going to go and protect that woman. And I'm not trying to attack our men in Africa, because my father is an African man, my brothers, my nephews, my cousins, they are African men, but they are growing in a society that teaches and shows them that it doesn't matter how you treat a woman. As long as you are a man, you are entitled to that. So when you come from a place where you are able to speak up and stand your ground, it's going to be kind of heartbreaking for you, because in the culture of the African people, women are just meant to be silent. No matter what happens, you have to be a strong one, a strong woman, like deal with whatever that is coming, and that's how you move family, that's how you're supposed to be. And so it's going to be very kind of hard for you to adapt to. It's okay for you to understand the culture and understand the people, but if you're going to morph yourself into something that you're not, and you're not going to be able to be who you really are, I don't think it's a good environment for you. And also because some men are going to use you and be sweet to you just for them to get access to maybe the West or your pocket. And also what you heard from Esther, she talked about how if you're coming for a relationship, you need to not show how financially stable you are. Yes, you can help if you can, because you come from a place where you are able to do things yourself. But now that you're coming to a place where men are more dominant, you have to just be quiet, and you just have to let things go. And you also don't have to show that you have money, because the moment you do that, it's going to be something to be used to take advantage of you, and it's not going to be okay for you. Like if you come and you find your African man or whatsoever, let them lead in a way that they are able to provide for you, even if you are financially stable than them. Another thing is you need to be mindful of your dress code. You need to be mindful of the way you present yourself. And it's sometimes not even the dress code, it's just that there's a disrespectful kind of culture from men towards women, that even if you're dressed well, they disrespect you in some ways. You will see men saying things to you that are shitty. They'll harass you, they'll pull your hand, they'll say things that really degrade you as a woman, and you can't really say anything. You can't do anything about it. You can't report them to police. They can't get arrested, because the law doesn't really support you as a woman in most cases. And it's just sad. It's really sad. You are not able to walk freely in the night or in some places as a woman, because it's not safe for you. Even for me as a Ugandan, as an African, as the lady said, that African men are seen as family oriented, men. I would say yes, but then as a Ugandan looking into my country where we have a lot of single mothers, I see more women work more than the men. It just doesn't make sense to me, and I'm like, there is a problem somewhere. So as a black woman coming from the West, you need to come with low expectations of whatsoever, be it culture, be it your relationship, be it the country, be it the people. You need to be very on guard on yourself and the people around you, where you live, where you stay, the things you say, the things you do, how you present yourself. You have to know that yes, you have the money, but you still have to be under somebody else who has less than you, and you have to play the role as how these other women in the continent do it. So it's not to discourage you not to come. Yes, I want you in the motherland. Just be mindful in the steps and the direction that you go into, and know the purpose on why you're coming. It's very, very important. You saw a sister talk about it. Be very cautious and understand the reason why you're coming. If you're coming to do specific things, research, and don't go to places and don't tell anybody. Don't show off. Also, what the lady said, like, the men here are threatened by a woman who knows what they want. And that's why a lot of men from other parts of the world like us African women, because we are designed and trained to just be followers of whatever a man has to say. And so if you are opinionated, even in my culture, even in Uganda, me being like this is seen as being aggressive. Me being able to speak my mind, I'm seen as a feminist, I'm seen as aggressive, I'm seen as, why are you too bold as a woman? You should be calm, be humble. Like, it's always to put us in a box where you just have to listen and be calm, and whatever they say, yes, whatever they tell you, yes. If anything happens to you, why are you complaining when you have a house and you have a man who is doing things for you? Even if they are harassing you or abusing you, why are you complaining? You are married, you have a man in your life. So it's always to make us be these damn slaves. But when you say those things, then you're attacking the culture. So are you able to come and be in that kind of an environment? And I also like when you guys come in the continent, because you get to understand both the men and the women. If you're coming from the diaspora as a black woman, it's not going to be a fairy tale. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but things have to be said. And if I don't give you the truth and warn you as a person that calls you in the continent, it just makes me, a fraud, and I don't want to be that. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about this clip and what had to be said in the video from the ladies, from the creators. Go and show them some love. I'll put their links in the description, as well as every time you watch our videos and support us, we get more courage to come and give you more information of what is going on in the continent, and yeah, what needs to be discussed and talked about. Guys, that is it for me in the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.